Vampire, the Masquerade, Bloodlines 2. It's a good game. I say that with content. I liked it. Probably like the first hour. And I just got kind of... No, first 2-3 hours. It just got kind of weird. I was excited for it because I never played the first game. And the only other vampire game I played was Swan Song. And then I played Justice, but that's like VR. And then I got a couple of visual novels that they did. There's like one other visual novel too. I swear they had like a normal first person game, but I think I mixed it up with the VR one. I don't know, it's like I didn't have any expectations, but I did. Because the first game goes back so far, and I've watched a little bit of gameplay from it, streams. But not a lot, but enough to grasp, like, hey, this actually looks good, I like the vibe, the energy, the characters, all the booba, the seducing, the combat, the location, the lighting, the graphics. Like, as old as it looks and dated and all that, it just looked good. Spent a decent amount of time in it, it looked like a big game. But to be fair, I have a weird certain attachment to it because I like pre-streaming and pre-Twitch, and I was just watching pre-recorded streams, and one that I watched a few times because I kind of kept watching them over and over. I don't know why. Was one of them was Vampire. It wasn't even like a whole playthrough or anything. It was like X amount of time. I don't know, but from what I did see, it looked kind of fun. And it just brought like a certain quality, and even though all I remember was like getting with the blonde girl and some Cthulhu looking monster boss, a little bit of running around. But it just reminds me of like a good open world sandbox, running around doing whatever, just chilling. You know, it was always dark, it was always like relaxing and cozy and comfy, and it's kind of more or less of what I imagine playing the Batman Arkham games is like. It's just constantly dark, very goth. But it's got that, I don't know, it's like a mix of so many different things to me. It's got like the chillness of like Watch Dogs 2, for example, how you're kind of just running around in the streets. You never know what you're going to find around the corner, and in an alleyway or some random location somewhere. Or like in Grand Theft Auto, like finding these interesting locations and areas, and I don't know, it just always felt like there was so much it had to offer. And then there's another thing I watched where this chick was like, she's like using console commands just to like play the game. This is how I found out, or this is how I got to know who she is from playing this game, or that game. I was like, dude, if you weren't using console commands, it's gotta be pretty old and just kind of janky. Like, the fact that you're even having to do any of that kind of stuff at all, I don't know if that's a good thing. And that could have just been a personal choice, but it kind of left a weird taste. So I didn't have much to go off of, but I had enough to like, hey, I'm probably gonna like this. I like vampires. I liked Swan Song. It was It was good. I like Blade, I like Dracula and Bram Stoker and Dracula 2000 and 3000 or whatever. The Little Vampire, whatever, or My Little Vampire, whatever it's called. Queen of the Damned is like one of my favorite movies. Dusk Till Dawn's okay. Lost Boys is good. I don't know, it just goes on and on. But the more I started playing this, the more I started not liking it. Because I love vampires. I used to try to drink my own blood before, don't ask. I've always loved like vampire capes and the teeth. I'd go get that stuff at the Halloween store, and I just love the beauty and the darkness and the immortality and the seduction and it's just so alluring and magical and mesmerizing and hypnotizing. It's just so many good things. Being a child of the night and having cool teeth that make you look hot, and you're still yourself, but you're more. Yes, you have weaknesses, but you can't. All your human weaknesses are gone. You get the girls, dude. You get the money. It's all there. But this game, there's not many vampire games out there. There's Vampire with a Y. I didn't really like it. Played like a couple hours of it. There's a Van Helsing game I still gotta play that I have. There's a couple other ones, but those are like top down. There's not a lot of vampire stuff out there, and if there is, it's very indie. Take it or leave it. One of my favorite animes is Helsing, Alucard. Cirrus Victoria is one of my waifus. I've been watching that since I was a kid, almost as far back as I can remember. Hellsing Ultimate. I love any vampire. There's so many vampire animes. So I have this whole love for vampires, but then I play this game, and I just don't care. Like, I know this game went through like development hell or whatever all the stories was. I don't even read into any of that anymore, but like gaming news and all that. But maybe, I don't know what happened, like the game took too long, or it just fell short, or it felt unfinished and half-baked and half-done. And to be fair, the more criticism I give it, bad press is good press type thing. I mean, all I'm doing is really boosting its own ego, but it's tough because like you hate it, you love it, you love to hate it, you hate to love it, it's good, it's bad, average, meh, mid. It's just such a like, I don't know if that was intentional either. Like with Cyberpunk, like was it supposed to be bad to end up being good, or like what's the deal? What I don't understand. I don't know much about the studio, or oh yeah, they made that Werewolf Apocalypse game too, but I still haven't played that yet. But I've seen some footage of that. I went into this game like I was so hesitant to get it too. It's like, do I pre-order it? Do I wait for sale? Because I just didn't trust them. I didn't know what I was getting into, and it's like, sure, it's not like full price, but I ended up pre-ordering it anyway. Which is funny because I didn't even play it till like a day or like a couple days later or something, but just because of schedule things. But I don't know, I was like stoked about it and hyped, but I wasn't. I should have been so much more excited. I don't know what happened. The cutscenes are good.
That's not my voice. Not my mouth it's coming out of either. Well, I know the back of my hand like the back of my hand, and
Who speaks?
Yeah, there's 2 reasons why I got this. Well, 3. I like vampires. I love Seattle. I've been there multiple times. It's really not even that far away. And I really wanted to get more into the vampire games, because there's quite a few of them altogether. I've been to Seattle for raves and friends, and I love that city. I want to move there. I love cities like that, and Portland, Oregon. Cali's cool, I guess. New York could be cool. But Seattle is just so... it's hipsters, hippies, edgy, cool. Music. I don't really care for the grunge and Kurt Cobain and all that, whatever. I don't know, it's just an interesting... like, it's not too big, but it's not small. I just think it's a place that has so much to offer, and the nightlife, and I don't know, it's just kind of perfect. And I didn't really realize it was based in Seattle till not too long before I ended up actually getting it. But I sat there, I was like, I don't know, I didn't really care for the combat. It's first person, it's kind of wonky, janky, you don't know what's going on half the time, it's too fast. The animations are kind of repetitive. The abilities are okay, the skills. But I didn't get the game for the combat. I got it because, like, I know it's an RPG, I know there's a story. I don't really care about the story or the lore, but I just wanted to be in the world of the vampires and, hey, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Who's this character? Where are we at? I just wanted to be included, because I love that you can literally roleplay as a vampire. Great, problem solved. It's a rare opportunity to get to do that. But one reason why I don't think vampire games do well is because, like, it's so much better on the big screen, in a cinematic form point of view. Because it's alluring. Byzantium's another good vampire movie. It's just good to... it's nice to watch it and just relax and enjoy it and take it all in and be immersed, and it's very immersive, the movies. I love Van Helsing. I've seen that. I've seen all these movies like 100 times. I just can't get enough. It's that thin line of life and death, but you're not a zombie. You're beautiful and gorgeous and sexy and powerful and intriguing and interesting, and you're not like everybody else around you. It's not like you think of a superhero like, oh, I'm powerful, look at me. It's more like I'm hidden amongst them, I walk amongst them, maybe I'm a daywalker, maybe there's just so many ways it can be done. I love watching documentaries of the history of vampire mythology and cryptids and Strigoi and this and that, and it's just so cool. But unfortunately, I just don't think it translates well into a video game, because it's like there's not really much there to work with. You're a vampire, you got teeth. Oh yeah, Underworld's good too. There's a lot that can be done with the vampire thing, but I think them choosing this route, the very fancy, spiffy, Victorian style, there's not a whole lot going on. And I don't even mind all the yapping, all the conversations, all the dialogue. That's the most enjoyable part of it to me. The whole city was like covered in snow, you couldn't even really see. I think they hid the map a little too much. You couldn't really enjoy the city because it was all covered up with all this stuff. There's some decent characters, NPCs. I don't know. Playing this made me just want to go back and play Swan Song. At least that was like, it really felt like Blade. Like everything, we're all wearing dark clothes and we're higher ups and elites and we have a place in the council or whatever. And you had a few different characters to choose from, and I don't know, this was just kind of like, yeah, you're some you're just a vampire doing vampire things. There just really wasn't much there. There wasn't much to grasp on or to hook you, or the only people that are really going to enjoy this game are the fanboys and I guess anyone who just simps for new games all the time. And but for me, there's like more of a personal passion there, and I didn't really feel anything. I didn't like, ooh, I like this. Ooh, this is good. Ooh, this is perfect. This is what I want. I didn't get any of that. The map was kind of lackluster. It just had so many issues. Running around all the time. Breaking the Masquerade. At first there was like a menu bug where it wouldn't, I'd have to like switch between tabs just to like go into the volume settings. I think they ended up getting an update though. And I've came across someone too who's like really into the lore, the World of Darkness thing, and just kept going on and on about it. And I'm just like, dude, I don't really care. I mean, you know, it's just a written world that someone made up. I don't know, I just don't really have an interest or anything. But it's funny how I compared to Cyberpunk too, because that was another tabletop RPG game. I don't know, it's so... This is why I don't really trust like D&D video games. I just think the physical and the digital need to be kind of separate, because I just don't really feel like it works combined. To be fair though, I feel bad for the devs too, because like you can tell there's a love here. This is the only game that can identify with people who want, maybe they don't play video games that often or at all, but it's a deep enough world where, in universe, where you can really kind of dig into it however much you want, and it speaks for all the goths and the emos. And I like that this game has a place for somebody. Like, somebody's gonna like it. Like, everyone likes vampires more or less, but specifically like the kind of style they're choosing. And because the thing with vampires, it can be done in so many different ways. All those examples earlier, that there's really no wrong way to go about it, but it's pretty ballsy of them to even make this at all. And like, I gotta give them some credit. I know it's really easy to kind of take a giant dump on the game, but it was good. Like, it had its moments, but it just wasn't enough. It didn't deliver, it didn't satisfy. But you know, anybody else could literally say that the exact same thing, the opposite thing. It's really just gonna depend on the person, the interpretation and their perspective and angle of how they see all this and process it in their mind. They're gonna be like, oh, this is so good or so bad, or, you know, kind of in the middle, like where I am. The combat was fine.
Oh, not like this! Let's fucking do this!
Yeah, the main character, the guy, I don't know where he was from, but he had a heavy accent. It worked, but I was like, where are you from? And I actually ended up playing as the girl. earlier. I think her voice was a lot more clear, and the one on the cover is a girl, so but yeah, if I'm gonna even bother to play this again, it's pretty much gonna be only because I want to play as the girl, because that's somewhat of a reason to do it again. But then I'm like, do I want to sit through all that all over again? I don't know. It's a lot. The game took me a long time. Not really. It's a shortish game, 30 something hours for me. But I kind of, it took so long to play it because I was only able to put in like 2 or 3 hours at a time, and maybe 8 hours or 10. It just depended. But so I was playing it for a lot longer than I needed to, but I was also trying to squeeze out as much dialogue as I can and really respect the content and the material. And one thing I didn't really bother to do was like collect everything. I don't really mess around with all that. But the only other incentive I'd have to play again would be to get with this certain girl. I got with one girl, dude, and it was so disappointing. I'm trying not to give too much away because like the details of this game could be so specific and like minute, and but I guess it's all general stuff, universal stuff. Pretty sure even in the trailer they probably showed it was some, you know, a city and all that. It took me a minute to even realize that Space Needle was in the cover of the game. I was like, oh, Seattle, interesting, because I remember the announcement trailer, but the announcement was just like slow motion and that song. I don't even remember. It felt like so long ago now. Like Christmas lights and trees, which was relatable to the game, I guess. But there wasn't much to go off of, so I didn't really know what I was getting into. But I liked Swan Song enough where I was willing to give this a chance, and it's because of this game why it makes me want to play their other stuff. If that was their goal, is to make this a crappy game and to go play their other stuff, they did a great job at that. Half the time that's why I feel like certain sequels come out at all, is just to make you kind of rehash their old material that they originally put the most money into, and time and effort and energy. So whatever. The game has some good sides too. It's good graphics, it looks good. It's somewhat smooth except for some stuttering and not a lot of loading screens. There's only like a few at all. But I think the game had a tough, even on performance mode, it just had a tough time like processing what little there even was there. I think the game was just overly, you can definitely tell it wasn't ambitious enough, but it was overly ambitious in the ways that it didn't really need to be ambitious in. Yeah, the story was confusing, the plot, I don't know what was going on, I didn't really care, I just kind of tuned it out. It's like blah blah blah, it's politics, and what really turned me off too was the whole murder mystery. This says in the game description it's like a neo-noir murder mystery or something. I'm like, ugh, do I look like a goddamn detective? This is why I don't really care about the Batman games, because at least in the movies and stuff, it's like, yeah, they dip into the detective thing, but not too much, right? In the games, it's a lot more apparent. Oh, I gotta, do this and that, and I don't know. It's just not fun. It's like a game I'm willing to play again, but there's no save slots. It's kind of just one playthrough. You pretty much, if you want to play again, you pretty much start over. I think there's some auto saves, but I was debating on like collecting everything, like all the collectibles, and only to get XP because I was trying to see if I might have a last minute chance to get with the chick. The one girl, like, well, I guess one of two that I actually wanted. Yeah. I don't know, the game like exists and it's a thing and it just didn't really. I mean, to be fair, it came out during October, spoopy month. It was a new game to get during the best time to get horror games. So that was another reason. It was kind of supposed to be my like finale to October and like finish big, and by the middle of it I was just like, dude, I want to get this done. I want to get it over with. I just want to complete it and beat it and move on. Get it done. I don't really want to play this like as a literal finale to the month on Halloween. I just kind of, I don't know, you just at some point you're just kind of running jumping through the hoops and passively just like, all right, I'll sit through it, but when is it going to be done? How much longer? How much more is there? Just dragged on. It's a lot of back and forth. You're going here, going there, doing this, doing that. It just felt the one weakness it had was just so inconsistent. Granted, if someone was really paying that much attention and really actually caring and giving a shit, maybe they'd be that much more in tune with what the hell's going on, but I was just like, dude, I got better games to play, man. I mean, part of it was I just got sick of playing just horror stuff and watching horror movies and shows the whole time. So there's a few reasons why I didn't like it, just on my end, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a flop. Like it, I don't know if it was supposed to do better or what, but and to be fair, by the time this came out, I don't even think I saw any ads or commercials, or like it was very, I had to kind of randomly notice that it was even like a thing. Like it was kind of hidden away, and it's almost like they didn't want you to know it was gonna come out and trying to hide it. And the fact that they weren't charging full price was kind of weird too, but which should be a good thing, but man, I don't know, dude. I think they took a hit. I can see this game. I don't do any research or anything like that, but I guarantee it got just as much, well, probably not as much, obviously, but just in the same aspect of as much crap Cyberpunk got. I had a couple of crashes too. Like there's people like bugging through the floor and going through buildings, and man, I don't know. It's not the worst. Like there's worse games out. That's what I always have to tell myself. It's just worse games out there, but there's better ones too. So. And I'm at a point right now where I'm trying to really only play stuff that's kind of the top of the list and then go down, but it's coming out randomly. And what's interesting for me is I can't even sit here and compare it to the first game. And I like that. I like that I can look at it from a fresh perspective, and I'm not constantly trying to compare it. And because to be fair, Swan Song even was just a very different game. Like So I can't even really technically do that. It's like, oh, everyone's always comparing like remakes and remasters with the older OG games, and it's just kind of annoying because it's like, dude, they're two separate things, man. I don't care if they're the same or whatever. They're different. Period. That's bottom line. That's how it is. I don't make the rules. So that's just how it is. But then again, you know, what would it be like from someone's perspective if they have played the first game, especially back in the day, let alone recently, or... And even still, I would say from what I've seen that they're just two completely different things. They have the same name and the same kind of whatever this game's trying to do, but they're ultimately very different. So there's no point in even going there in the first place. You have to look at it for what it is and what's in front of you now and today and here, and I guess to me it was just another game. It's like, yeah. But a part of why it took so long for me to play it too is I was just unmotivated and like, oh, I'm tired, I'm just gonna get off. I didn't even want to like push through and like, oh, I'm gonna put a bunch of time into this back to back every day, and or it just kind of like really kind of went downhill. It was good in a way where you spend enough time with it, especially over like a week, a week and a half. You know, it's almost like you're really a part of the game now, and it's been kind of just going on for so long that at this point you're just in the game. And like once you started to get to know some of these characters, you kind of cared about them more. It creates a lot of conversation, like, oh, I like this person, I don't like them. Combats here and there, wasn't much to leave to be desired for locations, or it's kind of small. There was one funny coffee menu item I saw, Edgar Allan Joe. That was good. I don't know, even they really cheaped out, like even in some of the details of like some of their textures, like magazines, keyboards, computers. I literally saw a computer where the arrow keys are on the left side and all the letters are like upside down. You can definitely tell they had stuff everywhere. Lots to look at, but once you look deep, they really didn't care about the details at all. It's almost like they exactly thought like, oh, people don't look at any of that anyway, and... But dude, you'd be surprised. A lot of people, that's probably exactly what they do all days. Like, oh, I'm gonna look at all the things they put into, like, looking for secrets and Easter eggs and references and like, people get bored, dude. Like, everyone that plays games, they always have a different goal in mind or plan or something. Oh man, it was bad. It makes you really appreciate what detail is in other games, because at least they give a shit. And like, sure, oh, you look at it for 2 seconds and you just keep going anyway, but them putting in the actual effort to fill that out the right way, it goes a long way. You know, a lot of games and shows and movies, they don't need to do everything that they do, but they do it anyway because it's attention to detail. And I don't know, the traversal was fine. Like, it felt smooth in a way. They were definitely going for the less is more thing. Like, hey, there's not much here. We're not going to overwhelm you and have stuff everywhere. Because sometimes RPGs can be exactly that. Skyrim, for example, where there's just a lot, too much going on. They filled it out too much. They stuffed it up with too much. But here it's like, I don't think they covered all their bases. They were mostly just focused on you know, blah blah blah, and not really anything else. Like what you did see, like the character models look good, and what was right in front of you, they definitely did that well, but there's like a little enemy variety. A lot of the choices you made didn't really matter. It was more just whatever you feel like doing. A lot of it is scripted, just kind of filling out the... saying as much as you can, getting as much information. But a lot of it was it just felt like a waste of time. A lot of backtracking, a lot of... I don't know. Like, the appeal of the game looks so good, and that's kind of vampires in a nutshell, honestly, is style over substance. I mean, vampires are pretty weak, dude. They're very vulnerable. They, you know, there's definitely a catch there. It's not all just roses and sunshines and rainbows. Like, I love their font, their logo, it looks cool. Masquerade, I love the Masquerade because of Phantom of the Opera. Masquerade! I even have some like Masquerade masks. And I love masks. I have like a ton of them. I don't know. This is definitely... This game works in a way like it's another added on piece to all their other stuff. Like it's more of what they've already done, but as it stands alone on its own, it's not great. And I'm glad the game came out at all. But honestly, I don't know. Like, my life wouldn't really change whether it came out or not. Just, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it's definitely worth more, like, waiting for a discount, because it's... And who knows, maybe they'll, like, fix some little things that, you know, really... Just to... There was nothing really majorly game-breaking or anything, but... Yeah. But, I mean, hey, amongst the entirety of games in general, like, it's something to play, it's something to do. I just watched Vampire Hunter D recently. A few vampire animes, actually. I was even, like, getting hyped for the game. I was, like, watching vampire stuff ahead of time. But by the time I actually played it, you don't... But that's the thing with new games, is, or just games in general, is you don't really know until you get your hands on it. You know, you can watch someone and they can say this and that, but you're never really gonna know, so the only way to find out is to actually get it yourself and try it out. It's not a bad thing, like, taking a risk and giving it a chance, the benefit of the doubt, but it just doesn't really satiate me. This is not the equivalent of what I would... Like, if I were to bite into someone's neck right now, dude, and get this euphoria, or be the one bitten for that matter. You know, and then compared to, like, this game simulating that, it's just not... Yeah. This could have had so much potential, too, like... You know, hey, I like this game enough to, like, want to play more of it, or actually be convinced to do everything in it, or at least more. But it didn't take me that long to see its true colors and its true nature and intent, where it just wasn't that good. Some of its music was fine. I mean, hey, you're in Seattle, dude, you better have some good music. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they think, you know? They're probably like, oh, dude, this is our best game yet. I don't really know. I would put this probably at the bottom. Like, I haven't even played half the other games, and I'd honestly rather probably prefer their visual novels over this, because at least then you can kind of just enjoy it, or the atmosphere, or, you know, if there's any dialogue or the music or sounds, or because that's all this was really, was a glorified visual novel. Like, sure, you got to run around and do this and that, but especially the combat, I just think it was in there to be in there. It wasn't really like focused on that at all. It was a very secondary thing. And to be fair, it's supposed to be considered a story game, so that makes sense, but left a lot, yeah. That's this very similar feeling I have about Cyberpunk as well. As like, I mean, to me the combat's whatever, man. I wasn't really, it's not a combat gameplay heavy focused game, so I can appreciate there's combat in it, but I almost would have preferred it left out, to be honest. Just walking around doing vampire things. Just let me chill. Just let me go to a party. Let me be a sexy hot vampire. Let me suck on someone's blood. And they don't really do anything, man. They're lazy. They get everything handed to them. They get what they want. Little effort. I would have just preferred a game that just did exactly that, like a simulator almost. Like, just let me sit on the couch, dude. Watch some TV. So being a vampire should be the, even though they always say it's a curse, but just enjoying the things around you, doing whatever you're doing. Like, you don't even need all this specific kind of stuff. But I get what they're trying to do. These aren't common vampires. They're not commoners. They're really high up in the chain, and it's like military stuff. It's interesting being like the guy or in command, or the general or the major, the commander, whatever. It's interesting knowing what others don't know, and being more privileged, and that's really one of the only good things about this, is that they cover that ground. Like, if you're just a regular old vampire, that wouldn't really work. It just wouldn't be enough there to do something with, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess to me it's just like, it's over now. It's fine. It was such a relief when it was done. But I didn't really think back too much on it. There was one part where I wanted to cry, or I was disappointed or something. I don't even know what my emotions were half the time, but I didn't really feel anything. It's like I had this feeling that the game was just baiting me anyway, so I didn't really fall for it. But I don't know, dude. I could see this being like a good Netflix anime or something. Like, I never even got into Castlevania, but it's just, there's not much. You're just the game just was disappointing at like every single turn. The customization was mid. Yeah, I don't know. There's only really like, there's like main locations that you go to back and forth, but there's only like a few like new ones. Like, oh, this is new, cool. 5 minutes later, it was interesting to see new enemies, but that passed quickly. The ending was interesting. Wasn't much for like bonding and stuff. It's not like an anime, or it's not like a game where there's like a meter, like, hey, you're gonna get with this girl, dude, you're friends, you're being friend zoned, she hates you. And they did the whole thing too, where like, oh, it's like in Fallout 4 when they're like, oh, you know, your companion liked that, or they hated that, or but that stuff can kind of matter in those games. They really put that detail in there. In this game, none of that really matters. You can say whatever you do, whatever you want. It's not going to affect any. So you do it. And when you compare it to like a Telltale game or something, which is funny because even that stuff is more or less the same type of deal, but yeah, a lot of dialogue, just like Fallout and Outer Worlds, and which I like. I want to see them talking and like figuring stuff out and working together and teaming up. Or it's a vampire drama. It's Twilight. It's fucking. I've never really gotten into Vampire Diaries, but something like that, or I don't know. I mean, I guess my whole thing to take away from this, playing this, is give us more vampire games, give us better ones, let the vampire scene be bigger and better. And it doesn't get enough attention, it doesn't get enough support or budget. I don't know what the deal is. I think there could be so much more. I guess if you dig deep enough, you're gonna find more stuff, but it's probably gonna be more or less like not even worth, I don't know. But this is definitely obviously more of a AAA high quality premium experience. If only they would have just done more with it. As far as expansion passes go, I didn't really read into any of that, or deluxe edition, or I think all that stuff was just like art books and stuff. I don't know. I could see them coming out with like a DLC maybe at some point. I don't know, man. I think this game was trying to make a really good comeback, because even Swan Song for me was kind of, that game's aged a little bit. I want to say that was their last game they did. I don't really know. More or less, or at least one of the last good ones or something. Like a full-fledged game that's not like a visual novel or whatever. But yeah, to be fair, Swan Song wasn't perfect either, but... And I'll go back to that game any day after playing this. Which is cool because I think that's the game's a lot more underrated. The Bloodlines is obviously their flagship series, and it's just because one is such a cult classic at this point, and like whether they're making us try to go back to playing their other games or specifically Bloodlines 1, they've definitely done a good job at that, but that's not how it should be. That's not a good behavior attitude to have, because like that's not the point. That's different. What about this game? I don't care if it's a business or it's this game that we're supposed to be focused on right now. What? I don't understand. But it's whatever, because what are you gonna do? It is what it is. For those who do like it, you know, good for you, but yeah. I have a love for vampires, but not in an obvious way where it's like I'm wearing it on my sleeve, but like a really internal wishing I could literally be one, but not doing everything I can to pretend to be one, and you know, like in another life, I don't know. There's a really like spiritual thing to it for me, like a natural, organic type of deal. Like if I could be anything that's not, if I could be an alien or a werewolf or, you know, zombie, I want to be a vampire. But not like this, man. I think there was too much yapping as well, like, not even just during the dialogue trees, but, like, you couldn't get time to think. You couldn't really get a minute to just process anything or have some time to yourself, or... Which is good in a way, because it's nice to have a game that really keeps the ball rolling, but it was almost too much. But the effort was there, but I think it was definitely on the surface, like, hey, it looks good, it plays fine, not completely game-breaking. Like, they just barely, bare minimum standard, like, quality control, and, like, barely passes, like, a full game. I don't know. I mean, it's funny that I say that now, because this game feels like a DLC. It feels like the fact that it's even called Bloodlines 2, they may as well just call it, you know, Bloodlines 1 continued, or... I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, Vampire the Masquerade. Bloodlines 2.